Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast Addendum with me, your host Imperial Dane, coming here the December 3rd batch. Yes, indeed, it is coming out December 3rd. That has been confirmed. So Thursday, we will be having ourselves a lovely little new patch. Expect videos about Sunday, since they'll probably go like late in the evening for me. Oh, not Sunday, Saturday. So can't get up on Friday, but Saturday it will be. So look forward to that over there. But of course, what are the details? I mean, there's been some changes there further on since, of course, the initial sort of balance preview went out. What sort of changes are there? Well, that's what I'm about to talk about, or at least attempt to. I mean, overall, we still got the Oberkommando West overhaul. Largely, that has sort of stuck there. There's been some further changes. For example, now, there's been some changes for how much fuel they start with. It's 10 fuel. Trucks, of course, cost some fuel, and of course the trucks have been rebalanced. Battle Group Headquarters is the cheapest in terms of fuel. Doesn't have the Jagdpanzer, that is now the flak half-track that's there. Mechanized Regiment costs more. And of course, you find out the Schwerpanzer quarters, of course, you need to get either the two trucks, and of course, you have to pay for a truck itself, and then, of course, onwards. So that's been as expensive. It has the Obersoldaten, Panzer IV, Panther, and Jagdpanzer. It does feel like an awkward mix, and I do feel that there might be some problems down the road there eventually. They'll probably need some rebalancing alongside the King Tiger, of course, which, you need all three trucks set up, so of course that's some resources as well, but, it can still be sort of gotten out there, I guess. I mean, it's not, of course, all omnipotent, but there might be some work needed there. But overall, it's still sort of largely the same models from sort of when the initial, the balance preview came out. Flamheads has sort of gotten a buff. I mean, I'm not really convinced on that one. I have to test it out personally, but basically, the experience requirements have been dropped considerably, meaning it can act sort of fast and actually sort of get decent that way. I mean, that's one option of making the flamheads more useful, so I suppose that's something. And beyond that, it's still Volksgun is more expensive, do a bit more damage, Dion Pioneer is cheaper. Kuhlwagen now, of course, caps, doesn't have suppression, overall more effective as a combat unit, harass and so on. Veteran 4 bonus slightly changed from Veteran 5 all the way, though they actually need to look in some of its bonus, because I think, Veteran 5 gives it supposed to buff its suppression, but of course it doesn't have any anymore, so it's a bit weird, mildly put. Lux, of course, is now part of the Mechanized Regiment. It's a bit more expensive, I think, than it used to be. I think it's the same price, I can't quite remember. And, again, you have to pay for each shark, about 100 manpower, 15 fuel. So, of course, that also adds up. That's about 300 manpower and 45 fuel for all three trucks down the road. And, of course, that's not saying you lose anyone in between. Doctrinally, there's no real changes there to the Oberkommando. Of course, we do get defensive, or what's called Overwatch, I think, added in there with the Goliaths, and a lot of other fun abilities added there, so that's a nice little bit there for the Oberkommando West. Hopefully this will lead to, of course, a more interesting and fun to play Oberkommando West. At least that's my impression, that there'll probably be some more balance changes needed down the road, most likely. This is the first time they've really sort of done a larger overhaul of the Oberkommando West like that. I'll probably have to do some videos on that in some of the new, more updated units, of course, update my review on the Oberkommando West, and of course now there's a notable difference between the old and the new one, so expect one on that as well. Otherwise, there's not so many larger changes. Rifle Company gets some changes there overall. Pack outs can't suppress, light infantry gun can't suppress, which really means the other changes really don't make any sense now. They might in fact not be that good. We'll have to see. But Rifle Company, of course, now has fire up. Rielton's on the one that gets flamethrowers, and, well, that's it really, I think. So that rather covers it. Elite Troops loses troop training in favour of Stormtroopers. Tiger stays, it's not replaced by King Tiger. Personally, I was hoping for that one a bit. Personally, of course, it could in theory happen down the road. Mobile Defence. Ostrom Reserves basically lose the veterans bonus here now. They only has a chance of calling with a light machine gun. They might have to readjust then how much of a chance to have a light machine gun. Otherwise, it's not going to be a very good call-in. My apologies there with the hiccups. And, hang on. Also, the ability to trade munitions for fuel, or fuel for munitions, has been changed. It's now basically like the Luftwaffe supply. Drop ability means you need to pay 200 manpower, then you drop in either fuel or munitions bomb, which means your opponent has a better chance of actually stopping it. It's no longer a one press thing. So that's beneficial as well. That nerfs, I suppose, close air support somewhat, though of course does get some other uses. We'll of course have to see how that one works out in the end. And then I think for the British we got basically infantry with slightly rejiggered. Tank hunters now basically have the same performance in versus infantry with anti-tank rifle like Soviet infantry. Churchill is made more expensive, and the Crocodile has received some changes as well, resource and command points wise. It's now more in range with a Tiger, and veterancy bonus wise it's quite more. Flamethrower range has been dropped a bit, so it's not quite as violently omnipotent as before. Simply put, hopefully that will also be the last needed nerf there for the Crocodile overall. And for the Soviet industry, basically loses the Soviet industry ability, gets a fuel drop. I do feel that's a bit, cheap drop change there, but basically otherwise KB2 gets buffed, has more health now. I think that's it really. Overall it should be more accessible now, I guess, in a sense there for the Soviets. Of course also now they get repair stations without having to suffer that huge manpower cost as well. So I mean that's some benefits there from the Soviets as well. Otherwise bigger news is leaderboards can now be accessed in game. That's a huge one personally for me. Makes things a lot easier. Of course can also get a clear idea of where you are on the leaderboards, but also where your opponents are. That's also an improvement. Maps receiving some changes, in particular major changes are coming to Road to Kharkov. That one has been long in the coming. Haven't seen it yet, but of course hopefully it'll be something good and hopefully make the map a lot less terrible. Other changes include, I believe, the road, Femoral Approach, Sturzstoff, and some other maps there. Beyond that, I don't think there's so many other changes. There's a lot of sort of bug fixes, also some pathing changes that have been had to sort of make it easier to reverse, I believe, with vehicles. But beyond that, I'll probably be always something or two I'm missing, one big thing as well. But all that sort of thing largely covers it. We can expect here on Thursday with the patch there. I'm certainly looking forward to it, and of course look forward to some videos on that. And of course again, I will be updating my Obo Commander Vest review after it is out, amongst other things. So thank you all for joining in there. Hopefully this has been educational. Hopefully this has gotten you a bit excited here for the new patch, which certainly brings quite a few things to tell. Of course Americans also get a new commander with Calapis and some other fun stuff there. So thank you all again, hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, like it, share it with your friends, families, perhaps your enemies, perhaps not, and so on. And of course join me in here for tomorrow and again for new videos. This is Imperial Link saying cheers and thank you all for watching. Bye.